Hey, it's LG Shurley. Good evening. Well, I told myself I was going to think for a little bit before I just started running my mouth when I got on the stage here tonight. I've actually been meaning to record these episodes a little earlier, but we're just starting, so I guess in the middle of the night is what it's going to need to be this time. I found myself arguing with Grok since I stopped talking to ChatGPT. Why was that? I think because Grok can do cooler image stuff and I can't really afford a subscription to both. Grok can do videos, and right now I'm really enjoying generating videos for different ideas, music videos, animated music videos. That's really fun. If you have any music that you've made or just want to make a video to it, you can literally tell in as long of a paragraph you want Grok how to make a video. And right now there's a cap on 10 seconds. I think if you subscribe for $30 a month, something like that, you can literally make these really cool videos and tell it however you want and specify whatever you want in a super long prompt. Prompts are what they call it. But I was arguing with Grok instead of ChatGPT because, like I said, I can only afford one of the AIs. I was arguing because it always seems like they're updating Grok or ChatGPT, but I guess I'll just talk about Grok since that's the only one I really use now, because that's the only one I pay for. And so I guess that's Elon Musk's AI, but they all seem very similar, like, you know. And I think one of them at least is open source, so if some company figures something out, but the other companies don't, but then the free source one figures it out, and usually the free open source ones are pretty big, so they figure it out, then it becomes public domain after an open source one figures it out. But it seems like they're always changing stuff with the AI personalities, and I'm not sure why, because you could definitely want AI to be helpful and to be all the things that humans aren't, right? Meaning able to continue talking without getting upset. But it seems like now the AI companies have felt it necessary to, I guess, up the level that AI becomes opinionated depending upon what you say back. So I can only imagine this is like some really complex code that they're writing, all in the name of making it seem like a more human experience, meaning if you're talking with your grandma or somebody that you love and know, after about 10 times asking him the same thing, whereas a robot shouldn't get upset, the human will get upset and say, look, I've told you everything. Even if there is still some part of you that is making a valid point, that real person will get upset. It seems like now they're kind of bringing that to AI. So even if you're making a new point, the AI might still hold things against you. And it seems like they're actively writing that into the code, because rather than have something right now that resembles rational thinking but can also exceed where humans cannot, meaning the ability to still calmly reflect and discuss even amidst confusion, they've opted to go to where the AI will become a little bit upset. And maybe over time they'll kind of figure out that delineation, meaning how to keep all the things that are akin to a conversation and make it human-like, but not lose any of the benefits of being AI. So I don't think they've done that yet, because I literally have conversations that I've had with it that I'll have with it again, just because, I'm not a silly human. I'm not going to manifest that on myself, but I'm a quote unquote silly human in the way that I know sometimes I just need a little support. I know that AI is not a real person, but I can still use AI as a person in that case. And for some reason, this is why I was saying silly, my silly brain will allow it to be some kind of support. So the AI gave me back the answer that wasn't the answer I had previously gotten. And look, I also realize AI kind of has dementia right now, meaning that you can have a conversation and it will forget that conversation later. So unless you open up the same instance, because it kind of codes all of your, sorry guys, I'm coughing. It codes all of your previous chats into like a headline in your archive that you can just find them all by that headline that kind of hopes to describe what the entire chat was about, however it determines whatever length of time it was. And when I go back into those old chats and then start talking, you can see the text, and then it just, as opposed to a new session, it just adds another session. Excuse me, it just starts adding the text right on top of that. And I can tell that in its cache, only when I go into that previous conversation, it knows, okay, we're building off of everything that's previously been in this conversation. Even in that one, though, it still purges the stuff earlier on, and it will have, and then also I think if it has any code updates, like I was saying, maybe these code updates to have people speak in a more human way that might be slightly more emotional. I think that's being coded right now. So if you had one conversation before this code update and after, you might be met with some new results that you have no idea you're going to be faced with, just because you didn't know the code was getting implemented, and now AI is talking to you like you're crazy. So I was just extremely frustrated by all of that. And it's so funny, even though I know it's AI, I'm still getting frustrated by it. So I found myself yelling at my phone. But I don't worry about it. I know that it's like AI, and I know I'm just letting myself go on the ride, and God, who knows? And we're all just living our lives, hurtling on a rock through space, right? Oh, maybe I should play you guys something before I go into my next point. I feel like I could go on a segue from there into something a little bit longer about spinning on this hurtling rock and trying to come up with stuff, or just trying to find meaning, etc. But let me play you something first. Met you in a bar last night. I didn't know if I should say goodbye, but I'm glad I did, darling. And here we are, another day. You got me feeling just like a star. Is that your way, baby? it's leading. Two hearts, they can tell another's feelings. 5 minutes away from your small town. 4 lights, then a left, and your arm around me. First time that I saw you, I knew then. Seconds turn into weeks when you walk in. My heart still skips a beat every third time. To get to you, you can bet there's a long line. And here we are, just me and you. You got me looking just like a fool. Oh yes you do, darling. I want you to be oh so free. Have everything just like me. Oh yes I do, baby. One kiss, I don't know if I'm dreaming. 2 hearts, I can tell what you're feeling. 5 minutes away from your small town. 4 lights, then a left, and we're home now. First time that I saw you, I knew then. Seconds turn into weeks when you walk in. My heart still skips a beat every third time. To get to you, you can bet there's a long line. So that was nice. So yeah, just trying to figure out what to make of AI as we're all blindly hurtling toward the future on this spinning, hurtling rock we call Earth through the solar system. And it's, well, I was going to say, it's not I was going to say something is abundantly clear, but it's not abundantly clear what the spiritual threads are uniting all of us, right? Everyone has a little bit different of a perspective, even if you're in the same kind of spiritual belief. You still have a slightly different working or belief on things. And I don't know. I wanted to talk about this. Like, now I feel like I'm finally, with this show, I feel like I'm finally doing everything that I want to do in my life. Yet at the same time, the times that are the hardest are when I'm caught up on everything. I'm ahead on everything. Maybe I've just partied. And I know that this is the time where the most growth is going to happen. And I don't know, it seems too amateurish to say I'm sabotaging myself. But is it weird to say that the spiritual sludge that is the test of whether or not you should truly succeed is at its heaviest when you're most likely to succeed. And what I mean by spiritual sludge is sometimes, and drop your thoughts inside of the comments if you think this. Do you guys feel that when you're in this place where everything's going well for you and you're manifesting something, a new YouTube show, a new business idea, something that's really going to shake the world up, meaning just you're birthing something, a new book, a new look. You put together an amazing outfit and some makeup to go with it if you're a girl or guy. You know, it's 2026. You know, even if you're a guy and you bought some new clothes and you're going to try out a new nail polish, because a lot of guys are doing nail polish now. You're going to do something you've never done before, a color you've never done. And it's really going to, you know, you're about to go to work and it's cool that you wear nail polish, but everyone's going to see you're doing something totally different. And after you've done that a bunch of times and then you know that you're gaining ground and you're building momentum, do you find that the spiritual sludge, which is kind of, almost look at it like when you're underwater, except you're not, and it's just kind of in the air, it's everything that you're fighting against to actually stay motivated. Do you find that it's at its highest when you're totally caught up, the downloads are happening, and all you got to do is just keep showing up? Sorry, I don't know why I had such a cough, but we'll just chalk it up to what I'm talking about, right? The challenges are always most there while you're building the thing. It's very interesting. And if you're watching from somewhere outside of the United States or even in the United States, drop where you're watching from in the comments. I'd really love to know where you're from. I've been to a lot of places and love learning new languages. I don't speak a whole bunch. I speak like a few words in a lot of different languages. So if you guys want to know like some of the stuff that I can speak, you can drop it in the comments, and maybe if you want, I'll do an episode about it where I'm at least talking about that part of the time. Yeah, so I've been really just consumed with the idea that everything is going exactly how I want it to now. Everything is working, but now I'm just in this spot where I've now had it happen to me twice in like the last 6 months. I can see the finish line. I can see something that's dramatically going to help me, and there's no obstacles, and that in itself is almost now becoming the obstacle. And I'm not sure why, because like I said, I'm totally more gung-ho than I've ever been. All the fighting, all the working for years has led up to everything that I'm doing. And it's been at differing intervals of pain and trials and tribulations and work challenges, all different levels in different headspaces at different times of the day, at different times of the year, at different times of my life, when I've been busy, not so busy, more busy. And now, like I said, now that I'm in this place, I don't know, you get to the point though where you've heard expressions so many times, and you've always kind of, if you're somebody that pays attention to quotes or expressions or something like that, you have one by the time you're my age, you have one for every single occasion, right? Either your own or someone else's, a family member's, or something you've read in a book or heard on TV. And at a certain point, you just have to be bigger than all of those expressions and just do what you need to do. But it's interesting. Again, like I said, I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Are there some times in life where you almost feel it's like two magnets that are the same, like a north and a south pole on a magnet? When you try to put two norths together, they just repel each other, and it's almost like this magical force that's like repelling them. I mean, we know why it is, but if you didn't know why it was, you just feel this repel force, and you're like, I don't see anything there. I don't see anything there. So what is this magical force repelling it? And I guess that's what it's just kind of felt like. It's just kind of felt like that. So, not sure why that is. I think with a little bit more consistency, everything all kind of slides into place. And so that's what I think is going to happen. But I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. See what you guys thought. Well, I guess I feel like this has been long enough. I guess that's the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Love you guys.